Each morning, real setups are broken down with entry strategies and technical reasoning behind every trade. This is today's best trade setups with Verified Investing.
Welcome to today's best trade setups. My name is Benjamin Poole, head trader here at Verified Investing. Delta Airline was falling significantly. It was down over 5% into a lot of support. The earnings weren't that great, and its prospective earnings going forward aren't that great until the end of 2026, where the earnings actually are anticipated to be significantly higher. However, in the short term, it does favor a pullback. It was down, like I said, 5%. Now we got a little bit of a bid based on economic news. If we can break the support level, I have a $5 move to the downside on Delta Airlines, which would be pretty substantial. Silver again is on the rise. I have a key resistance level. I still think it has more upside. However, this would be a great day trade level based on this upsloping trend line, and a couple different stocks like MU and IREN that you guys got on early. And so I'm going to go over those charts as well. So thank you so much for commenting. Let's go ahead and jump into the chart of ORCL. This stock I've been monitoring for quite some time. I actually decided to exit my swing trade. I had ORCU. I took over a 20% gainer on this thing. So basically a 10% move on Oracle. My first shortable level is still $210.57. My secondary shortable level is $223.14. Now, what I would like to see with all this bullish consolidation right here is actually a retrace. If we can get back down to about $190 or $89.70 on Oracle, I would likely pick this up back for another swing trade, knowing I've got additional support at about $180.04. This is really the line in the sand. On the upside, if you start breaking above 210.57, you're likely to head back up to here. This is would be a breakout if we can start breaking above this level. AMD had a nice gap in the charts. It filled quite nicely. I was hoping it would get down to $198.11. This is where my entry price was. I even told the live day trading room, hey, I'm going to go ahead and enter this if it drops down there. And then it got a pretty nice bounce. Now it's currently trading at $214.79. This thing can move quite substantially. For me, based on this recent pullback, if we can get back up to $232.70, this would be my first shortable level, knowing I've got an additional upside resistance level at $240.52. AVGO had a nice move up off of the basically this wide range green bar candle, bullish consolidation, and now we're heading higher. For me, you've still got this wide range red bar candle. Although it's not as significant as resistance, you still have should still have some resistance here at $361.78, knowing that I've got this additional resistance level at this upsloping trend line, and then a secondary wide range red bar candle at $379.96. A hot stock on the watch list is, in addition to MU, is SanDisk. SanDisk is continuing to push higher. It was just trading about $295 or $395. Now, for me, the max upside would be a $410, maybe $415. The reason I like a pierce of the $400 even number is it's gotten so close before. All the people who were planning on exiting that trade at a pierce of $400 could have already gotten out, which would allow the buyers to push this up to 410, maybe even 415. But I would say that would be my max upside for today's trading session. So here's the chart of SanDisk. Nice surge from the lows here. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 candles from this low pivot. So again, $410.82 is where I'd start a 1/10th position, and know that I would have to dollar cost average every $5 higher. I said my max upside today would be about 415, but just because I say that's my max upside doesn't necessarily mean that the stock and the people who are interested in the stock are going to stop there. They could continue to bid this up. So I've got to be cautious of that and know that the bulls can take control, and a momentum stock like this could really drive it up. Here's a chart of MU. What I like is this upsloping trend line connects to the 6th of October 2025 highs, goes to the 10th of November highs, and then you got a little bit of rejection right here towards the beginning part of January, putting in this minor topping tail. what I noticed though is you're actually putting in a bull flag. So basically what we're looking at is this wide range green bar candle and then price consolidating inside towards the upper end of this green bar candle. And so we're starting to break out a little bit more. I would have said my max upside was about $350, but if we can break this top right here at $346 and close, we're actually probably looking at about a $375 upside target on the stock of MU. Okay, ANF, I did give you this level. I said $99.96 was going to be a key psychological level for a gap fill. The stock traded down a little bit lower, got down to $98.92. I didn't take this trade. The volume on this was a little bit too light. I was actually looking for a move to the downside about $94.32. So I, again, didn't take this trade. However, had you gotten in this trade, you could have taken a 4.5% move to the upside. Not only once, but you could have taken this level twice. I stayed away from it just because of the volume in it. I need a little bit higher volume for me to enter a trade. Pinduoduo is currently down on the morning session. It was trading a little bit lower. For me, my downside target for a long play is a gap fill in the charts at 109.51. Should be some pretty good support. I will caveat with saying that a lot of these stocks for the Asian markets have a lot of gaps in this. This is an ADR, meaning that it trades off of another stock, which is why we see a lot of gaps in these charts. So it doesn't have quite the same weighting as a stock in the US stock market, just a regular standard stock like Apple or Microsoft or SanDisk. So if it does get down to this level, $109.51 should still be some support, but it's not going to be as solid a support if it was a standard stock, with a secondary long level at 105.79 if it breaks this support level right here. Delta Airlines, let's go ahead and get into this. Here it's trading down a little bit lower. Here we have this nice shelf in the chart of Delta Airlines. If you zoom out, you've got additional price support as well in this area. For me, I'm actually looking for Delta Airlines to break the support level, head below $66. And then for me, my buy level today is $62.14. If the price action of Delta can continue lower, this is where I'm likely to pick this up. Not only is this a previous tiny gap, but look at all of these pivot tops right here as additional support for Delta Airlines. Silver continues to move up a little bit as well. I love this upswing trend line. You connect this highs from 17th of September. You have all this price consolidating right underneath it. Got back to this upswing trend line right here on the 29th of December. Got a rejection, a pretty solid rejection. So if price action can get up to $89.50 an ounce on the chart of silver, I will do a day trade short on SLV. Again, this is more of a day trade. I think that if we can stay above this upswing trend line and get above this upswing trend line, then silver has much, much higher to go. Now that it's broken out, it could head all the way up to about $100 on the chart of silver. AV, I'm also monitoring this. My first shortable level today would be $393.98. You got this wide range red bar, or this pivot top right here, knowing I've got additional resistance around $406, and then this top right here at $417.95. And then Intel had a little bit of a move. It's starting to break out above this wide range green bar candle where it got a rejection yesterday. If we can start moving up above that, $49.55 would be my shortable level, with additional resistance at $51.28. If you zoom out in the charts, you can see that there's a gap right here that goes all the way back to the 25th of January 2024, and then this pivot top right here from the 27th of December 2023. So these are where I got my level at $49.55, and then additional resistance at $51.28. Last but not least, IREN. I'd given a shortable level right here at $51.73 on Friday. I was expecting it to go up to that level, and that's where I was going to enter a short trade. It got close to that level again today, so that level is now off of the table. So for me, I would need another move to the upside. You see this gap in the charts. You've got this not a lot of buyers who had stepped up in this area. which means that if we can clear this $52.76 level, there's not a lot of people who are stuck in this trade. So it could shoot up to $55.70. So for me, that is where I would short it. On the long play, I actually don't think this is going too much lower. $42.75 for me would be kind of the max up the downside, excuse me. If you start closing below this low pivot though, you could see more downside. But again, I think price action is a stop right here about $42.75 before getting another leg to the upside. And the reason I say that is you got this pivot low here, secondary low here, third low here. And so this for me is indicating that the buyers are now bidding this to the upside and IREN can really surge going forward. So that's what I have for you guys. Thank you so much for joining me this morning at 8:45. Gary Soloway is going to be going live in less than 5 minutes. You guys don't want to miss this. The silver chart's going crazy. The market's got a bid when they were down slightly. So he's got a lot of analysis that you guys don't want to miss. If you guys are getting something out of this, please make sure you're liking, you're following, subscribing, and sharing with those friends so that way that they can get this market information as well. And we'll see you guys next time in the charts. Take care.